imagine growing up believing that love was pure, unbreakable, a bond sealed by shared secrets and lifelong promises. Now, picture that same bond shattering the moment a mysterious stranger enters your life, stirring desires you never knew existed. What would you do if the heart you thought was exclusively yours was stolen away by the very person you considered your closest ally? Today, we dive deep into the tangled world of a love triangle that not only defies the boundaries of passion, but also threatens to tear an inseparable sisterhood apart. Welcome to Heartstrings Unraveled. In this story, we follow the lives of two sisters, Anna and Bella, whose lifelong closeness is put to the ultimate test by the arrival of Ethan, a handsome, enigmatic stranger whose charm and allure ignite dangerous desires in both of them. For as long as they can remember, Anna and Bella have shared everything: their dreams, their laughter, even their secrets. But nothing prepares them for the moment when the line between sisterly love and forbidden passion begins to blur. Anna, the elder and more reserved sister, has always been the quiet observer, thoughtful, introspective, and cautious in matters of the heart. Bella, on the other hand, is impulsive and fiery, never shying away from expressing her desires and wearing her emotions on her sleeve. Their differences have always complemented each other until the day Ethan walks into their world. Ethan arrived one sunny afternoon in their small hometown, his presence as striking as a sudden summer storm. With soulful eyes and a smile that could light up the darkest room, he captivated everyone in an instant. But it wasn't just his looks that drew attention, it was the effortless way he engaged in conversation, making everyone feel as though they were the only one in the room. As fate would have it, both Anna and Bella found themselves inexplicably drawn to him, each for reasons unique to their own hearts. At first, it was innocent enough. Ethan would join the sisters at local cafes, stroll with them during town festivals, and share laughter over simple conversations. Anna admired the gentleness in his words and the depth of his understanding, while Bella was captivated by his bold, adventurous spirit and the thrill that seemed to radiate from him. In those early days, the trio spent countless hours together, creating memories that glowed with the promise of something beautiful. Yet, hidden beneath those moments of light, dark currents of unspoken desire began to stir. As the weeks went by, the sisters noticed subtle changes. There were moments when Ethan's gaze would linger a little too long on Anna during quiet conversations, and times when his laughter seemed to echo with a secret only he and Bella shared. The gentle harmony that had once defined their interactions slowly gave way to a silent competition, each sister wondering if she could be the one to capture his heart completely. The innocence of their early encounters faded into an undercurrent of tension, leaving both Anna and Bella with a nagging sense of foreboding. Late one balmy evening, as the sun dipped low over the horizon and painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, Anna sat by her window lost in thought. She recalled the way Ethan had looked at her during a recent gathering. There was something in his eyes that stirred emotions she had long buried. At the same time, across the hall, Bella found herself replaying the memory of Ethan's confident stride and the way his hand had brushed against hers during a crowded moment at a local fair. Both sisters were haunted by the realization that what had once felt like admiration was rapidly evolving into something more dangerous, a passion that could fracture their unbreakable bond. Internal monologue. Anna. I have always believed that love is gentle, nurturing, but now I feel a fire that is consuming me from within, a desire that I cannot ignore, yet I fear it might destroy everything I hold dear. That night, as the sisters retired to their separate rooms, the silence was heavy with the weight of unspoken secrets. Each was left to wrestle with their own conflicting emotions, unaware that the seeds of betrayal had already been sown. In the quiet darkness, as the clock ticked slowly by, the inevitable collision of hearts was preparing to reshape their lives forever. In the weeks that followed, the once harmonious dynamic between Anna, Bella, and Ethan transformed into a precarious balance of desire and jealousy. The local cafe, once their safe haven for shared stories and laughter, now became the stage for silent glances and stolen moments. Every encounter was laden with tension, and every smile concealed a storm of conflicting emotions. Anna found herself drawn deeper into introspection. Her reserved nature had always kept her cautious about matters of the heart, yet Ethan's tender gestures and soulful conversations stirred emotions she never expected. She began to notice every little detail, the soft timbre of his voice when he spoke about dreams, and the way his eyes sparkled with hidden meanings. These observations, though beautiful, soon became the source of a growing inner conflict. Anna questioned whether her budding feelings for Ethan were the product of genuine affection or merely a reaction to the unspoken allure of forbidden romance. At the same time, Bella was not immune to the magnetic pull Ethan had over her. Bold and unafraid, she threw herself into the whirlwind of his charm with abandon. Bella's laughter rang out like music during their evenings together, and her spontaneous, vibrant energy seemed to light up every room they entered. But beneath the thrill of their encounters lay a quiet, creeping fear, a realization that her heart was inching closer to the edge of an emotional precipice. Every touch from Ethan, every whispered word shared in the heat of the moment, intensified her longing while deepening the fissures in the bond she shared with her sister. Internal monologue, Bella. I crave the fire that burns when I'm with him, yet I can't help but feel the sting of guilt with every touch. How do I balance this passion with the love I have for my sister? Is it possible that these feelings could tear us apart? As summer ripened into a season of long, sultry nights and vibrant celebrations, the tension among the trio reached its peak. At the town's annual summer festival, amidst the swirling colours of lights and laughter, Ethan's attention was divided in ways that neither Anna nor Bella could fully ignore. There were moments when his eyes lingered on Anna, speaking silently of unspoken emotions, and others when his playful banter with Bella was impossible to dismiss. In the midst of the festivities, the sisters exchanged looks of both hope and sorrow, each silently pleading for the outcome that would allow them to be loved exclusively, yet dreading the inevitable consequence of rivalry. In the quiet aftermath of the festival, the sisters retreated to the solace of their home. The warm glow of shared memories was now tainted with the bitterness of jealousy. They found themselves in a state of awkward silence, each reluctant to broach the subject that loomed over them. Their conversations, once filled with the comfort of sisterly understanding, now carried a weight of unspoken accusations. The love triangle had transformed from an innocent crush into a battlefield where hearts were pitted against each other. Late at night, as the town slept under a canopy of stars, Anna sat by her window reflecting on the events of the day. The gentle breeze carried echoes of laughter and soft whispers, and she closed her eyes, trying to drown out the turmoil within. In that quiet solitude, she vowed to understand the depth of her feelings and find a way to navigate the storm of desire and betrayal without losing the sister she adored. Meanwhile, Bella wrestled with her own inner demons. Alone in her room, she stared at the ceiling, the soft glow of the moon casting long shadows that seemed to mirror the dark corners of her heart. Her thoughts spiraled as she recalled every stolen glance and every touch that set her soul aflame. The passion was intoxicating, yet it came at the cost of a bond that had been her lifeline since childhood. The duality of her emotions, a burning desire for Ethan and an overwhelming guilt toward Anna, left her feeling torn in ways she never imagined possible. The days grew heavier with each passing moment. The tension was palpable, and the inevitability of conflict loomed like a dark cloud on the horizon. The sisters were on the precipice of a choice that could either mend their bond or shatter it irreparably. And in the midst of it all, Ethan remained the enigmatic center of this emotional storm. a symbol of both hope and heartache. Narration transitions with a reflective tone. As the heat of summer pressed in around them, the once unbreakable bond of sisterhood was being tested by the fires of desire. With every heartbeat, the stakes grew higher, and the risk of losing everything became too great to ignore.
The turning point arrived on a cool, crisp night at a secluded lakeside retreat, a place where nature's beauty met the raw intensity of human emotion. The setting was idyllic, with the lake reflecting the shimmering light of the moon and the surrounding trees swaying gently in the night breeze. It was here that the simmering tensions finally exploded into a collision of hearts. On that fateful night, Anna, Bella, and Ethan found themselves together in a small cabin near the lake. The air was charged with anticipation, and every whispered word and lingering touch seemed to carry the weight of their hidden desires. The intimacy that had built over the past weeks now reached a fever pitch, and there was no escaping the truth any longer. In one secluded corner of the cabin, Bella and Ethan found a private space away from prying eyes. The atmosphere was electric. Every movement, every glance was filled with a passion that bordered on desperate. As Ethan brushed his hand softly against Bella's cheek, the air seemed to crackle with a promise of ecstasy. Bella's eyes shone with a mixture of desire and fear, fully aware that each touch carried consequences she could never have foreseen. Their bodies moved in a synchronized rhythm, a dance of passion that was as forbidden as it was irresistible. In those moments, time seemed to stand still, the rest of the world fading away, leaving only the intensity of their shared desire. At the same time, in another quiet part of the cabin, Anna found herself drawn to a hidden alcove where the solitude allowed her to confront the turmoil within. The memory of Ethan's gentle smile and the tender warmth of his touch had haunted her for weeks, and now the desire to feel that closeness again overwhelmed her. With trembling hands, she reached out, almost as if by instinct, toward the empty space where she wished he were. In that vulnerable moment, Anna's heart pounded with a mixture of longing, guilt, and an almost painful awareness of the betrayal that had already begun to unravel her world. Internal monologue, Anna. Every stolen moment with him feels like both a gift and a curse. I know this passion is dangerous, yet I can't turn away from the fire that burns within me. As the night deepened, the boundaries between the sisters blurred. The hidden intimacy between Bella and Ethan was exposed through subtle glances and soft whispers that carried over the quiet spaces of the cabin. The tension was unbearable, and it wasn't long before the unspoken conflict exploded into a confrontation that none of them had anticipated. In a moment of heart-wrenching clarity, Bella caught sight of Anna, who had wandered into the common area, her eyes filled with unshed tears and a look of quiet despair. The collision of their gazes was like a jolt, an electric shock that revealed the raw truth of their shared pain and betrayal. Words were not immediately exchanged. Instead, there was a heavy silence, punctuated only by the sound of the lake lapping at the shore and the distant rustling of leaves. The confrontation was inevitable. Emotions that had long been bottled up erupted in a torrent of accusations and heartache. Bella, unable to contain the pain and the confusion of her feelings, broke down in tears. Anna's voice, usually soft and measured, trembled as she demanded answers, questions about loyalty, betrayal, and the cost of forbidden love. Ethan, caught in the middle, tried to interject with apologies and pleas for understanding, but the raw hurt in both sisters' eyes silenced him. The intensity of that night was palpable, a searing moment of truth that would forever alter their relationships. The heat of passion and the chill of betrayal mingled in the air as the three struggled to come to terms with the consequences of their desires. In that emotional maelstrom, the sisters realized that the delicate balance of their bond had been irrevocably shattered, and the love that had once united them now threatened to tear them apart. Internal monologue, Bella. I never wanted this pain. I only wished to feel alive, to be seen. But at what cost does this passion come? How do I bear the weight of knowing that my actions have hurt the person I love the most? As the night wore on, The confrontation slowly subsided into an uneasy silence. The intensity of the moment left deep scars on each of their hearts, a reminder that the collision of passion and betrayal can never be undone. The moon, high in the sky, bore witness to the unfolding tragedy, a silent guardian to secrets that would haunt them for years to come. In the days following that tumultuous night, the repercussions of their choices became painfully evident. The once tight-knit sisterly bond between Anna and Bella had fractured beyond immediate repair. The echo of that confrontation reverberated through every corner of their lives. The cabin retreat, which had once promised the serenity of nature, now stood as a stark reminder of the night that forever altered their destinies. Anna withdrew into herself. Every familiar face, every cherished memory of childhood laughter, now carried the bitter taste of betrayal. She spent long hours alone, revisiting old photographs and journal entries that once symbolized an unbreakable bond. Now, they served as painful relics of a love that had been lost to selfish desires. The weight of her own complicity in the unfolding drama haunted her, leaving her with an unrelenting sense of regret and sorrow. Bella, in contrast, struggled with a tumultuous mix of defiance and remorse. The fiery passion that had once defined her had cooled into a simmering anger. Anger not only at the situation but at herself, for allowing the lure of forbidden desire to compromise the sacred bond with her sister. The days were filled with bitter arguments, silent treatments, and moments of raw vulnerability when the facade of strength finally crumbled. The public exposure of their secret affair with Ethan left her feeling isolated, as friends and acquaintances whispered behind her back, unsure whether to offer sympathy or judgment. Ethan, the catalyst of the turmoil, was left to face the consequences of his own choices. The once charming figure who had captured both sisters' hearts now found himself ostracized from the tight-knit community that had once embraced him. His presence, once celebrated, became a constant reminder of the betrayal that had torn the family apart. Alone with his regrets, he questioned every decision that led him to that fateful night, wondering if his charm had been a blessing or a curse. Final reflection and a glimmer of hope. As time passed, the raw intensity of that night began to fade, replaced slowly by the long, arduous process of healing. For Anna, the journey was one of quiet introspection and cautious acceptance. She began to write again, pouring her heart onto paper, trying to untangle the knot of conflicting emotions that had held her captive. Through her writing, she discovered that forgiveness might not erase the past, but it could serve as a bridge to a future where the wounds could eventually mend. Bella, too, embarked on her own path toward reconciliation. In a series of tentative, tearful conversations, she reached out to Anna, seeking to rebuild the trust that had once defined their sisterhood. The road to forgiveness was long and fraught with setbacks, but each small act of vulnerability slowly paved the way for healing. The sisters discovered that, while the scars of betrayal might never fully disappear, they could learn to live with them and even find strength in the pain. Ethan, burdened by guilt, took a step back from the chaos he had helped create. In the solitude of quiet evenings and long walks along empty streets, he began to understand that true love required honesty, respect, and the willingness to face one's own shortcomings. Though he knew that his actions had irreversibly altered the course of his relationships, he vowed to grow from the experience, hoping that someday he could find a way to make amends. Internal monologue. Anna reflects softly. I will never forget the pain of this betrayal, but I refuse to let it define me. There is a quiet strength in forgiving. Even if the scars remain, they can remind us of the lessons learned and the resilience of the human spirit. As the first light of dawn broke over a quiet, dewy landscape, the sisters found themselves sitting together on a weathered porch, a fragile peace slowly settling between them. Their conversation was tentative at first, filled with long pauses and unspoken apologies. But with every shared memory and every gentle word, they began to weave a new tapestry, a tapestry that acknowledged the hurt of the past while daring to imagine a future built on the possibility of renewal. The journey ahead would be long, and the memories of betrayal would forever be intertwined with the love they once shared. Yet in that quiet moment, there was hope, a belief that even the deepest wounds could eventually heal, and that forgiveness might one day transform heartbreak into a testament of resilience. Before we conclude this story, we invite you to reflect on the nature of love and betrayal. What would you do if the ones you cherished most turned your world upside down? Is there a path to redemption in the face of such profound heartbreak? Share your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation. Your insights might just help someone else on their journey to healing. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button, subscribe to Heartstrings Unraveled, and turn on notifications so you never miss another exploration of the human heart's complexities. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey. Remember, even when love leads to heartbreak, hope can guide us toward a brighter tomorrow.